Friday Night Blitz is sponsored by Fairway Meat and Grocery.
This is the Johnson Suit section, and you're watching Friday Night Blitz. Yeah!
Well, welcome into Friday Night Blitz. I'm Raina Garcia, joined by Jake Brennan. And Jake, it's hard to believe that we are at the halfway point of the regular season. And on top of that, district play kicked off for many teams, and that's when teams want to be playing their best football.
Yeah, it's the first night of district play for 4A. In my opinion, it's the most wide open class. Yeah. No undefeated teams. And for our game of the week, whoever wins it gets off to a crucial 1-0 start. Newton caught the state by surprise last year, getting off to a 6-0 start and finishing with their best record since 2017.
When you think about back to last year, those kids were a blast to be around, and we're really blessed that we have a lot of the same kids still here this year.
I feel like some people still look over us a little bit, but that doesn't bother a lot of guys. I think that just kind of drives them a little bit more and to be like the underdog.
This year, the Cardinals are off to a 2-2 start with those two losses coming to top 10 teams. Their next matchup is a district opponent and another top 10 team, Bondurant-Farrar.
Long term, we obviously have a lot of goals, but we're just taking it 1 week at a time. We like to use a mountain analogy. Just do our climb for this week and just focus on the now, focus on the present, and don't look too far in the future.
We truly believe that Class 4A has the most parity amongst it, right? It's a lot of teams that are very similar to each other, and so there's a lot of teams week in, week out, and it's a dogfight.
The Blue Jays are 3-1, large in part to Titus Cram, one of the top running backs in the state, averaging a whopping 9.1 yards per carry.
He's been a great player all along, but man, his maturity and his leadership and just his mental approach has grown so much over the last year. It's just been really neat to see just how focused he plays and how he's contributed in every aspect of the game.
He's their best player. He's their go-to guy. He's the guy that gets all the attention for him. So, we're a huge believer. Our defensive philosophy, try to take away their best weapon. We've tried that throughout every single game that we've played so far. So, mission stays the same: take away their best weapon, try to get somebody else to beat us.
Game of the week, sponsored by Fairway Meat and Grocery.
Nothing says game of the week like Dave Bingham. He's got your highlights from Newton.
H.A. Lynn Field in Newton. What a tradition. Where else would you rather be in week 5 than right here, right now? Newton hosting Bondurant-Farrar. This is their first district game. 4A District 4. It's time to go.
Lots of history here in Newton, and we always like to honor Frank Gilson, the great coach, and his press box. Caleb Madison, Newton gets things going early on offense, but they run into a very hot player on defense. Reed Faltzgraf with the interception here, and stay tuned because there's more from him. Jordan Ryle goes back to pass for the Jays, finds Faltzgraf. What a catch. Somebody's an athlete. And then one of the best, Titus Cram, punches this one in. 7-zip Jays. Cardinals on offense again, and it's Faltzgraf again. Pick number 2. Cram, touchdown number 2. 14-zip Jays. And then still in the first quarter, are you kidding me? Faltzgraf with pick number 3. And then the offense not done. Ryle rolling to his left, and what a pass here to Cram. Touchdown number 3 for Titus. 21-zip Jays. Newton's gutty gritty though, and Caleb Mattis goes back to pass, and he finds Cody Klein, who's a good one. Finds a seam, gone. 59 yards, touchdown Newton. This one gets wild in the second half. A lot more scoring. We don't have the time to show you all of it. 42-21, the Blue Jays get the win over Newton. Newton's game, though, this is a good football team, but a lot of turnovers, a lot of wild action, so both teams will clean stuff up and get better next week. But that's going to do it from Newton. And, of course, we'll send some stuff on our Dome Dynasty social media later on and next week on the Friday Night Blitz. Back to you guys in the studio.
The 2-2 Clark Indians on the road at the defending state champs Van Meter Bulldogs. Van Meter entering this game at 4-0. Well, we get the scoring started on the opening kickoff here, and it didn't take long. Ben Gordon goes the distance untouched. Touchdown Van Meter, and the Bulldogs jump out to an early lead. I think that is a play of the week material right there. But later in the quarter, Austin Baumhover throws a dime in the corner of the end zone to Cale Trudeau, and that extends Van Meter's lead to 20-0. And you thought the Bulldogs were done scoring in the first. Well, think again. This time it's Baumhover to Caleb Moore for the 4th touchdown of the quarter, giving them a 27-0 lead. But then in the second quarter, Van Meter, a wide out, Porter Doggett takes the ball and does a tightrope back down the sideline, giving the Bulldogs a 34-0 lead. And Van Meter rolls past Clark tonight, 48-10.
Homecoming for Johnston at home against number 4 Waukee. The Warriors are off to a good start, but Johnston gets off to a good start in this one. Will Nuss drops back, finds Adrian Brodas, 27 yards, score 7-0 Dragons. Second quarter, still 7-zip. It's 4th and 1 for Waukee. Grant Gamble bounces one outside, untouched, 39 yards for the score. We're tied at 7. There was some stout defense in this one. Still 7-7, end of the second quarter. Johnston takes a 10-7 lead, but Waukee scores on a strip sack with 2 minutes to go and wins a road game 14-10.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, but when Friday Night Blitz returns, we'll hear from the 2 Lincoln players as they reflect on their record-setting performances last week.
You can be a part of Friday Night Blitz with just your phone. Easily share your great photos and video with Near Me on the We Are Iowa app. Click Share with Us, enter the details, and submit. Then watch for your content on Local 5's Friday Night Blitz, Fridays at 10:35.
Everyone is ready for Monday Night Football on ABC. Hurts and the Eagles soar into Tampa Bay. Can Mayfield steer the Bucs to victory? It's Eagles Buccaneers at 7 on ABC.
Sure, there's a lot to say about what makes Ford Escape and Bronco Sport part of the SUV lineup that leads in brand loyalty. But in the Midwest, words don't hold much weight. What really matters is what your SUV can do. On the go, in the city, and off the beaten path. Get an SUV that lives up to the claims. Ford SUVs are made for the real world. This is Chiefs Kingdom. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months on a 2023 Ford Bronco Sport, official SUV of the Kansas City Chiefs.
The king of country music, Código 1530 Tequila presents George Strait with Grammy winner Chris Stapleton. One night only, Saturday, May 25th at Jack Trice Stadium. George Strait with Chris Stapleton and special guest Little Big Town. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss George Strait live.
You know, they say that friendship can be a tough nut to crack. But if you're lucky enough, you can find a friend to pick you up, lift your spirits, show you the savory side of life. But then again, I reckon that's Fairway in a nutshell. Because at Fairway, you're family.
Peace of mind, as in no worries. Like when you sign up for Peace of Mind plan service with Wyckoff Heating and Cooling. It's knowing your heating and cooling system will be inspected each spring and fall and will be maintained at its highest level. It's knowing that for less than $21 a month, the Wyckoff family will take care of your family. Peace of mind. That's what Wyckoff Heating and Cooling is all about.
Wyckoff, for peace of mind under your roof.
Visit WyckoffComfort.com.
Our first play of the week candidate comes from Marshalltown's Trayshawn Brooks. Just before the half on kickoff, he finds some room and goes 90 yards to the house. Nothing beats a kick return in football. The Bobcats went on to defeat Ottumwa. Homecoming for Indianola against Ballard. First quarter, Indianola's pinned on their own 5. Andrew DeWall goes to an out route for Eli Fox, and he goes the distance. This is a special one for me. I've known Eli for a long time. He's a great young man. Proud of you, kid. 7-0 Indianola, tied at 7 now. Mason Gatchell, the Bomber quarterback, drops back, completes to Chase Land, 35-yard score. Bombers take a 14-7 lead. Second quarter, DeWall completes to Jake Pontier, but the ball is punched out from behind him by Brody Sampson, and he recovers. Then it's the very last play of the half. Aiden Keller from 41 sinks it, cuts the lead to just 4, and Indianola goes on to win a close one on homecoming, 30-27.
Last week, 2 Lincoln football players had record-breaking performances in their win over Des Moines North, and now they're looking to use that momentum to keep moving the program forward.
The give to J-Man, and he's got room to run off the outside, 45, midfield, 45-40, down the far sideline, he's gonna go, 73 yards, touchdown Lincoln.
This touchdown would turn out to be one of 6 on the night for junior running back Javon Sanders and Lincoln's 56-6 win over Des Moines North.
Well, the coaches trust me with the ball. You know, I just follow my blockers, my pullers. I just, I trust my O-line.
That performance set 3 new individual school records for most touchdowns in a game, rushing touchdowns in a game, and points scored in a game.
I've been coaching 18 years, and I don't say this lightly, but Javon is probably one of the most explosive athletes that I've ever coached in regards to football player, and the sky's the limit for him.
Having grown up watching his brothers play for Lincoln, being able to make his mark on the program in this way is extra special.
I'm proud, My whole family really played for Lincoln, and I just want, I'm one that got 3 records now.
But he wasn't the only one to get his name in the record books that night. Senior Leo Jones also set a new record for most solo tackles in a game with 19.
Me and my dad like to talk about that's probably one of my best games I've ever played. I just wanted to be the best linebacker I could be, but I didn't even know there was a record like that. So it's nice to know that I got it now.
Leo has been there since day one when I got the job, and he's just been really dedicated to try to not only make him better, but also bring those teammates along with them.
Even with those records to their name, both Javon and Leo say there's more work to be done, and their focus is on continuing to help their team win.
We got to keep going. This is not our ceiling. We can get way higher than this.
The Rail Splitters trying to come away with the win on homecoming against Council Bluffs Lincoln. And we just told you about Javon Sanders, the Class 5A rushing leader. Takes this one 44 yards to the crib with just under 3 to go in the first quarter. He and Dowling's Rashad Davis are neck and neck for rushing touchdowns this season. It looks like he might have tied him there. But second quarter, the Rail Splitters defense comes up with a big play. Aaron Guerrero with the over-the-shoulder interception. A nice play for the senior there. And the Rails come out on top in the Battle of the Lincolns, 21-14.
That was the Battle of the Lincolns. Let's go the Battle of the Variations of West. Waukee Northwest at home against Waterloo West. First quarter, Wolves quarterback Sam Johnson. He likes to throw, but he also likes to run. Keeps it, hits the gap, goes 49 yards. Touchdown Northwest. 7-0. Still in the first quarter. Johnson passes this time, drops back. Maverick Inman catches it, 15-0, Wolves. And yeah, we're still in the first. Ryan Woodruff stays low and rushes 13 yards, 22-0. And the defense was legit too. Harry Linen intercepts the pass. Waukee Northwest 64, Waterloo West 0.
Well, there is still plenty more to come here on Friday Night Blitz. Coming up, we'll hear from the Ames Little Cyclones after their big win over Roosevelt in this week's edition of Inside the Huddle.
Chevy Silverado and Silverado HD, you can take on the mountains, or you can move them. With the power of up to 36,000 pounds of max available towing and the confidence of an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen. Whatever your mountain, there's a Silverado for you. Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all Silverado 1500 pickups. Plus, get $750 cash allowance on this Silverado. More Iowans drive Chevy.
Johnson's windows, roofing, siding, gutters, bathtubs, and showers are guaranteed for life. Get 50% off installation or enjoy no interest and no payments for 2 years.
Call 1-800-HANSONS. Get it done.
Ensure your retirement is set up for success by watching Retiring Today with Lauren Merkel. You'll love to hear new ideas to help you get ready to retire. Watch Retiring Today with Lauren Merkel, Sundays at 10:30 a.m. and 11:30 a.m.
We could tell you all about what makes Ford F-Series the #1 trucks in America for 46 straight years. But why tell you when we could show you instead? Because in the Midwest, talk is cheap and actions speak. On the lake, on the job, or on the town. Choose the trucks that deliver on the claims. Ford F-Series is made for the real world. This is Chiefs Kingdom. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 XLT, official truck of the Kansas City Chiefs.
What about this one? Wire brush finish.
I love this style, and the price is amazing.
It's got 2 removable leaves.
And the bench has storage. Honey, do you like this table?
It's yours if you like it.
She's thinking. Sure.
Oh my Bob, she loves it!
She loves us.
Probably.
When you don't have to compromise on style, quality, or price, there's only one thing to say.
Oh my Bob!
Bob's Discount Furniture.
We're the Milwaukee Northwest dance team, and you're watching Friday Night Blitz.
Inside the Huddle, sponsored by Des Moines Orthopedic Surgeons.
Last week, Ames High finally got in the win column after defeating Roosevelt on the road. And while they certainly took their lumps in the first 3 weeks of the season, the lessons learned from that are starting to pay off. There's a lot of youth on the Ames roster. They've had their fair share of growing pains this season, but it all paid off last Friday in their win over Roosevelt.
Even though we lost 3 games straight, we keep going, keep grinding every day. We got each other, so it's good.
Junior Jamison Poe and sophomore Cameron Cantonwine have become a dynamic 1-2 punch for the offense. Cantonwine rushed for 230 yards on 19 carries and a touchdown, while Poe rushed for 83 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he also had a 60-yard receiving touchdown.
Jamison did a nice job last week getting tough yards. We kind of challenged him the first couple of weeks. We're like, not every hole you can drive a truck through. You got to make your own a little bit, and he did a lot of that last week. And obviously, Cameron Cantonwine stepped in at quarterback and rushed for 230 yards was huge. I mean, he's playing quarterback, but he runs like a fullback. And, sometimes I got to tell myself he's only a sophomore and Jamison's only a junior. So we want to have as much success as we can right now, but we're playing a lot of young guys who are really stepping into big roles in Class 5A football.
But the team isn't satisfied with just one win, and they want to continue taking steps forward.
We came in on Sunday, and when we win, we make a highlight video and all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, the kids are gonna be excited because a lot of young guys, and they were kind of quiet. And I even after we were done on Sunday, I called my coach. I'm like, okay, what happened over the weekend? What are they mad about? What happened? And he called one of the guys, and they're just like, we're excited to win, but we're just going back to work. So I'm like, okay. That's a level of maturity maybe we didn't see coming from so many young guys, but that's great to see, and I love to hear that as a coach.
The Little Cyclones on the road tonight, taking on Valley. The Tigers still looking for their first win of the season. First quarter, Drake DeGroot fakes the handoff and then gets it out to Noah Craycraft. He's got some room to run, takes it up the sidelines, and into the end zone he goes for the touchdown. And Valley goes up 7-0 after the extra point. But we'll move to the second quarter. Valley up 10 now. They gave it to Damon Head, and he broke off some pretty big runs on this drive and caps it off with the touchdown to extend the Tigers' lead to 17. Now just under 10 minutes to play. Valley threatening to score once again. DeGroot connects with Darius Mason for the touchdown pass. Valley winless no more. They finally get in the win column, defeating Ames 52-13.
4-0 Madrid hosting 3-1 Earlham. First quarter, Ryan Stiles of Earlham powers his way in for the touchdown. 2-point conversion is no good, so it's 6-0 Earlham. Then it's stifling defense the rest of the way. Madrid's Nash Ramirez breaks up the pass on 3rd down. And then here's a big play on special teams. Jace Fusion waiting for the punt, fields it, makes a man miss, follows his blocker, goes 25 yards inside the red zone. But this one was 6-0 at half. And Madrid took the lead early in the 3rd quarter and stays undefeated 13-6.
Well, tonight, the Sept Eagles were hosting Des Moines Christian, and this one was pretty much all Lions from the jump here. John Doohan got them on the board first with this touchdown, and he was balling tonight. 16 catches for 256 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's a crazy stat line. The Lions defense is also getting after it tonight. Coming up with a big turnover here. And Des Moines Christian wins this one big over Sept on the road, 47-0. The Lions now move to 3-2 on the season. Well, on the other side of the break, Dave Bingham will catch up with our Coach of the Week.
At Taco John's, we never judge a book by its cover. But if the cover is a one-of-a-kind flatbread coated in aged cheddar, crispy shredded potatoes, and our signature potato Olay seasoning, we say, judge the shell out of it. New Cheddar Crunch Tacos, only at Taco John's.
There's only one SUV brand that has the best-selling plug-in hybrid, the most luxurious SUV in its class, and America's best mid-size pickup, Jeep. The most awarded SUV brand. Get great deals now at the Jeep Adventure Days event.
Get 2.9% financing or $4,000 total bonus cash on select 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo models in dealer stock. Visit Jeep.com for details.
Your savings goals are important, and a Veridian CD makes them easy to achieve. Earn 5.4% APY on a 7-month CD or 5.5% APY on a 7-month jumbo CD. You just sit back and watch your investment grow with online banking or our convenient mobile app. It's that simple, giving you rest-easy savings. That's the value of Veridian. Open a CD online or in person today.
If you're like most people struggling with diet-resistant fat, then it's time to call Sono Bello to remove it permanently and in just one visit.
I struggled with body fat for years. With Sono Bello, day one, all my unwanted body fat gone.
I would have never comfortably worn a dress like this. My stomach is now super flat. I feel amazing.
I went from a size 10 to a size 7.
I have the flattest tummy that I've had in 25 years.
Sono Bello's board-certified surgeons use micro-laser technology to safely target and remove your diet-resistant fat cells permanently and in just one visit.
I have one big regret. I didn't go sooner.
Schedule your free, no-obligation consultation and find out how you can get $250 off instantly. Call 1-800-918-0483 or go to sonobello.com.
If money talked, it would tell you about the premium ingredients on Taco John's Valuest menu starting at $1, $2, or $3. Hand-cut sirloin steak, crispy fried chicken, and fresh pico. And if your appetite talked, it would say cha-ching. The Valuest menu, only at Taco John's.
All right, it's time now for our second play of the week candidate. This one coming from the game we saw earlier, Van Meter versus Clark. Senior running back Ben Gordon taking this one all the way to the house on the opening kickoff. Going the distance untouched. Definitely a great play. Well, it was a lovely night for some football last night, or some bonus splits, as we call those Thursday night games, featuring Roosevelt and Dowling Catholic. The Maroons striking first, though. They give it to Rashad Davis, who powers his way in for the touchdown. Dowling takes a 7-0 lead in the first quarter, but the Roosevelt defense now with under a minute left in the quarter, and Eddie Fulton picks off Dante Cataldo in the end zone to prevent the score. Second quarter now, Cataldo getting some redemption here, though. He connects with Hank Brown for 6. Later in the quarter, the Rough Riders back to punt here, but check this out. The Maroons block it, and Nick Frericks falls on it for the touchdown. Dowling goes on to get the shutout win over Roosevelt, 50-0.
Coach of the Week, sponsored by Wyckoff Heating and Cooling.
Bondurant Farrar started off district play with a win over Newton, so we'll send it out to Dave Bingham, who's with our Coach of the Week.
All right, welcome back to the Friday Night Blitz Coach of the Week, and Zach Font's with us from Bondurant Farrar. Talk about feeding the beast and some of those things. You have a talented football team. Things went well for you, but teams don't quit when you get teams like this one that you had to play tonight. So you learn a lot about your team. What are your thoughts right now?
Well, I mean, I think the biggest thing for us is just like, we do have a very talented football team, and we've got a lot of guys with a lot of experience. But we've talked a lot about, we have a tough schedule. We play a lot of really great teams, but I think ultimately for us, like, we just try to focus on us. And so, we say that our greatest opponent is us. And, I think there's so many things with human nature, the ebbs and flows, especially being the age that these kids are, like, man, it's like there's 24-hour cycles. Like one cycle you get a great, locked in kid, and then the next one it's like you got to do something to refocus, remotivate. So we just talked a lot about, man, like our greatest opponent is us. And if we can master ourselves, then that's the number one thing. But yeah, man, I'm really proud of them. We played really hard. We battled through a lot of adversity, and I think that's what we're going to get, every week from every opponent that we play.
And you look at right now, you have to stay with that foundational stuff, and I heard you talk a lot about that. And I mean, the feed the beast was one thing, but you went back to the foundations. How are you keep implementing those and still practice and work hard and make that connection?
So I'm fortunate enough to be able to do a leadership class with a lot of these guys, and so we've been talking about this stuff for years and years and years. And it's just like now it's just a simple reminder, like character plus preparation plus performance equals results, right? So if the results aren't what we want, then we better check our character, our preparation, and performance to see where we're lacking. Deliberate practice, I did a study on that a while back. I mean, that's like the number one indicator of success in all human beings. So it's just being in the moment. So these guys have heard it a lot,
Hopefully they start to learn it, right?
Right, yeah. So it's just like little reminders like that. But I mean, we talk a lot about that stuff. I think when I was an athlete, the physical stuff like just came, for a lot of these guys, but it's like the mental stuff that we all need help with, I think.
Zach, we appreciate it.
Yeah,
Our
man,
coach
thank
of the week,
you.
Bondurant, big win tonight here at Newton. That's always tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wyckoff's heating and cooling coach of the week. We'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, well, a quick correction on that Des Moines Christian Sadell game of the stat line I read for John Dune, actually for the season, not for that game. That would have been a crazy game if you would have.
Still impressive.
Hey, still good on the season. Things get a little chaotic on Friday nights, so my apologies for that one. But with that being said, it's time to look now around social media to see what people had to say about tonight's game. So let's go ahead and get that pulled up there. So this was some news that came through about the Marshalltown-Ottumwa game. It was actually called off at the half due to a safety concern by officials and administration. There were reports, I believe, of a gunshot heard in the area, so that's why they went ahead and took precautions to call the game off. And
really
hoping
scary stuff.
Yeah, hoping everyone stays safe over there.
This is what Kaid Nessen is saying is the greatest shot of all time. That is. Look at the quality of that camera work. Wow.
And the fireworks
in the background. Creston, 5-0, beating Harlan.
Yeah.
Not a lot of teams beat Harlan.
Nope.
Creston is off to a great start.
I think it's safe to say that might be the real deal this season. Well, looks like this is from Bondurant Farrar giving a shout out to the cheerleaders in the student section. Of course, we need to appreciate them. They get the atmosphere hype for everyone, and so shout out to all of those student sections and cheerleaders all across.
And they went 35 minutes. I know that's an exact drive because I made it. ADM takes Caribou 42-0. I would guess Aiden Flora had a big day. We'll hear from him coming up later in the show. Man, ADM's rolling.
Yeah, they are. And this was comes to us from Des Moines Lincoln. Javon Sanders breaking off another touchdown run here. And we actually found out he broke yet another record tonight. I believe most rushing yards in a game. A new school record for him. I mean, I'm just curious to see how many school records he breaks by the end of this season.
It's more newsworthy when he doesn't break the record at this point. He has been on fire these last 2 games. And then this was the game I was at. The middle school, might have been the elementary section, they were chanting, "Walkie sucks, Walkie sucks." Who's teaching these kids? And they're teaching them young how to be bad sportsmanship. All in all, though, it was a great atmosphere at Johnston.
You gotta love a little trash talk, though. No harm, no foul on that one. But I like it. I like the fire.
Yeah, no, it was funny.
Good stuff. Well, don't go anywhere because when we come back, we got plenty more to go for you here on Friday Night Blitz.
That's a pretty tight spot.
Watch this.
Your Buick parks itself. That's so you.
Of course you know where we're going. That's so you.
I got a 6th sense.
And a head-up display.
They're here.
At the heart of every Buick SUV is you.
Get 1.9% APR and no monthly payments until 2024. Plus, current eligible non-GM owners get up to $1,250 purchase allowance on 2023 Buick SUV models. Visit your select Iowa Buick dealer today.
Fall is the best time to plant grass seed, and Menards is here to help. Midwest Master is a premium all-purpose blend that starts fast and blends well into existing lawns. A 15-pound bag covers up to 3,750 square feet and is $39.99 after rebate. Help prepare your lawn for winter dormancy and a healthy spring with premium fall lawn food fertilizer. A 17-pound bag covers up to 5,000 square feet and is now $12.50 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Wyckoff Heating and Cooling gives you peace of mind, as in no worries. It's knowing the Wyckoff family is standing by to help keep your family comfortable this season. It's knowing that Wyckoff always has competitive financing options to fit your family's budget, including no interest and no payments on any new installation. Peace of mind. That's what Wyckoff Heating and Cooling wants for your family.
Wyckoff, for peace of mind under your roof.
Visit wyckoffcomfort.com.
Sure, there's a lot to say about what makes Ford Escape and Bronco Sport part of the SUV lineup that leads in brand loyalty. But in the Midwest, words don't hold much weight. What really matters is what your SUV can do. On the go, in the city, and off the beaten path. Get an SUV that lives up to the claims. Ford SUVs are made for the real world. This is Chiefs Kingdom. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months on a 2023 Ford Bronco Sport, official SUV of the Kansas City Chiefs.
The king of country music, Código 1530 Tequila presents George Strait with Grammy winner Chris Stapleton. One night only, Saturday, May 25th at Jack Trice Stadium. George Strait with Chris Stapleton and special guest Little Big Town. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss George Strait live.
We're the Norwalk Cheerleaders, and you're watching Friday Night Blitz.
Last week, the North Polk Comets moved to 3-1 on the season with a decisive win over Humboldt. So let's take a look back at how it all played out in this week's Dome Dynasty recap.
The eyes of the North Polk youth are on you. Tonight's another night. You got another night of young 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds from our youth football program out there watching you. They'll be announced at halftime. Okay, you remember what it was like to be a young kid. You remember what it was like to watch the varsity run out and play. Now you're that guy. Now they're watching you. Now they get to dream about what it's going to be like to wear that number that you have on your chest. Okay? Embrace that. It's such an awesome feeling to know what you're doing for this program, how you are making this program better every single day. And at the end of the night, we get after it together. Have fun. It's a beautiful night to play football. Let's go.
Fumble. Looks like Matson lost the handle on that. Couldn't quite reel it in. He fumbles it. North Polk falls on it. They've got it. This is Foster from 2 yards out, walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Comets. Peterson, nowhere to go. Zosky, play action, fires deep down the middle of the field. He's got his man. It's complete. It's going to go all the way. That's Jake Hout.
Nice job.
Matson on 3rd and long. Lets it fly. Detman with the catch. Matson looking deep down the middle of the field. Lets it fly. Is that picked off? Yes, it is. There was a fight for the ball, and North Polk won. Hunt this one out of his own end zone, standing on the E in Comets. Heavy rush by the Comets, and they get to it. That ball is blocked. The punt was blocked, and the Comets land on it at about the 14-yard line. Here's to Tate, right up the middle. Tough running by Tate down to the 2. Tate again, this time easy into the end zone. Touchdown.
Way to go, way to go, way to go, way to go. Good job. See you out there.
3rd and 6. Zoski wants to pass. Looks left, throws it up for Tate. It bounces up in the air, and Grout catches it for the Wildcats for the interception, and he's all the way to the end zone. Give is to Foster. Burst through the line, right off tackle. Oh, he's tripped up by Grout. This is Foster from the 4, spinning forward into the end zone. The give to Tate. Right up the middle, great blocking, bust through. Now he cuts it outside and he's gone. From midfield, it's Tate. He's knocked out right before the end zone. From the 1, it's Tate and he's in the end zone. The Comets win this one tonight, 34-7 over Humboldt.
Trust in your coaches, trust in your teammates so that we can continue to build and get better, okay? This thing isn't done after 4 games, okay? Now we get into district play, okay? And we got to keep on climbing and get better.
All right, well, North Polk hosting Des Moines North tonight, and they're going to strike first in this one with just under 10 minutes left in the first. Braden Foster bounces to the outside and gets into the end zone to put the Comets on top. And North Polk would have another trip to the red zone, and they capitalize on it this time with B.J. Tate, who gets across the goal line to double up the lead after the extra point. And North Polk dominated this one, getting the win over Des Moines North, 57-0.
Norwalk hosting winner Sept, and it was a slow start in the first quarter. Norwalk's Aiden Harder drops back running for his life, somehow avoids this sack, gets out of it, but then he rolls the other way and throws an interception to Lane Hockett, and that puts Winterset in scoring position. They settle for a field goal 3-0. Then late in the first quarter, the Warriors score the first touchdown of the night. Kyler Rodman puts Norwalk up 10-3. But the Huskies strike right back. Hunter Lyon to the tight end, Jaden Cooper. We're tied at 10-all. But then right before halftime, back to the QB. Harder this time. The run is successful. He gets into the end zone, 17-10, and the Warriors pull away in the second half, 37-17. As we continue to reflect on the life and legacy of beloved high school football coach Ed Thomas, Dave Bingham sat down with Webster City head coach Bob Howard to talk about the impact Thomas had on other coaches around the state.
One of his legacies to me is when you look at how many high school coaches played for Ed.
First step, okay? This is what it's all about. Now, you guys got a chance to live a dream right now, fellas. Now we get ready for the next game Monday night.
I would doubt there's another coach, high school coach, that has as many ex-players that are out coaching high school. Then that message that Ed gave them, the faith family football, which wasn't a saying, that was Ed, way before the tornadoes. I mean, way before the attention, that, you know, rightfully so, that was focused on the tornado and the community and Ed's role in that. But it was those messages went with those players.
Ready! Ready!
One of the big lessons I also got from Ed, you can be competitors and you can be rivals without having to badmouth the other guy or, you know, hate your opponents and all that stuff. You know, that part was a big influence of Ed Thomas, and I think that's a big part of this award. Obviously, the faith part was huge, and there's going to be a lot of guys speak about that, and rightfully so. But it wasn't just lip service with Ed; he lived it. And before they were AP, before they were, you know, sending teams to the Dome all the time. A lot of coaches give lip service to what kind of men they're creating. That was a big deal to him. A lot of people say it, and maybe they mean it at the time, but what do they do when push comes to shove? Ed's values and character was every day, 365 days a year. It wasn't just when cameras were on. It wasn't just when he was getting interviewed, or it wasn't for, you know, show. He lived it.
We're going to take another quick break, but when Friday Night Blitz returns, we feature ADM's Swiss Army knife, Aiden Flora, and how he's leading the Tigers to a hot start.
You know, they say that friendship can be a tough nut to crack. But if you're lucky enough, you can find a friend to pick you up, lift your spirits, show you the savory side of life. But then again, I reckon that's Fairway in a nutshell. Because at Fairway, you're family.
Get 2.9% APR for 36 months plus $1,500 purchase allowance on the 2024 XT5 and XT6 when you finance through Cadillac Financial.
You prepared them for their first steps. The first day, their first dance. That big test. All the wins along the way. And with a College Savings Iowa 529 plan, you'll prepare them for even more. College Savings Iowa. It's how parents get through college. Register before September 30th for a chance to win a $5,290 contribution. It's your first move toward a bright future.
Here at Pizza Ranch, we always want to give you more variety. That's why we developed Buffet Your Way. Order your favorite pizza for the buffet and we'll bake it and make sure you get the first slice. Like thin crust prairie, pepperoni and green olives on stuffed crust, stampede, buffalo chicken with jalapenos. You name it, we make it. Oh, Carl, I wasn't actually ordering. No, Carl, don't be like that. Come back, we'll eat them.
Pizza Ranch, everyone's favorite buffet.
Keep them coming, Carl.
In 1905, Boar's Head opened a family business based on a simple idea. Craft the finest delicatessen products possible, nothing less. 5 generations later, we've never wavered from that commitment. Meats trimmed the old-fashioned way, exceptional ingredients, time-honored recipes. If a product doesn't live up to our exacting standards, it doesn't carry the Boar's Head name. In a world where quality has come into question, know that you can put your trust in Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.
Time for Play of the Week candidate number 3. We stay with the theme of long, explosive plays. This is Indianola's Eli Fox going 95 yards off the pass from Andrew DeWall. That made it 7-0 Indians. They won. Stay tuned later in the show to find out our winner. ADM has skyrocketed to second in Class 4A after a dominant win over Norwalk in our last game of the week. Their high-powered offense is built around dynamic playmakers and selfless leaders. Coming into this year, ADM had one of the best 1-2 punches in the state, Aiden Flora and Brevin Dahl. Unfortunately, Dahl broke his arm and is out for his senior season.
It's hard. We've been playing football since we were little, and then our last season, not being able to play with him is going to hurt, not only on the field, but as a friend and as a teammate.
He's an incredible leader, just on and off the field. And there's no doubt in my mind that he'll be able to pick up the slack.
When you rush for 330 some odd yards as a quarterback, it's pretty impressive. And especially when you're 160 pounds and 5'9".
Flora is listed as a quarterback, but he's far from just a QB. He's tops in 4A in rushing touchdowns, total touchdowns, and yards per carry. Oh yeah, he also completes over 70% of his passes. Flora was a running back in youth football, was moved to quarterback in middle school, then became a receiver his sophomore year before moving back to QB as a junior.
Whatever the team needs, I'll do. Kicker, punter. If he wants me to do that, I'll do that too. I mean, wherever he wants me is definitely where I want to go and help the team out. Whatever makes the team win is what I would want to do.
The guy just really understands what it takes to be a team player. It's never about me. It's about what can I do to help the team.
It's definitely advantage knowing everything that's going on between wide receiver, running back, and quarterback. So that's a big plus. I know where the receivers want the ball.
Fan of the Game, sponsored by Wyckoff Heating and Cooling.
It's not just the players that battle through illness and injury to get on the field for Friday nights. Some fans do it too. That's how much our fan of the game loves football.
This is like what high school is about. I've actually been really sick all week, but you know, took the medicine the doctors gave me just to be here. This is what we're about at Johnston. We live for this. These Friday nights. This is what we live for.
All right, we'll keep it right here on Friday Night Blitz because when we come back, we'll reveal which play earned the title of Play of the Week.
Everyone is ready for Monday Night Football on ABC.
A whistle to whistle, every snap, every play.
And this huge NFC primetime matchup.
They don't like us, we don't like them.
Jalen Hurts and the Eagles soar into Tampa Bay.
We're for each other. That's better motivation than anything.
Can Baker Mayfield steer the Bucs to victory? Eagles Buccaneers at 7 on ABC.
To those seeking a career that turns working into winning, this is your moment. Find excitement, find higher wages, find better benefits. From housekeeping to hospitality, from the front desk to the bars, from the restaurants to the casino, you can turn a job into a career. Prairie Meadows is your chance to join a winning team that is committed to giving back to our community. Bet on you. Apply today.
Your favorite place to play.
We could tell you all about what makes Ford F-Series the #1 trucks in America for 46 straight years. But why tell you when we could show you instead? Because in the Midwest, talk is cheap and actions speak. On the lake, on the job, or on the town, choose the trucks that deliver on the claims. Ford F-Series is made for the real world. This is Chiefs Kingdom. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 XLT, official truck of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Your savings goals are important, and a Veridian CD makes them easy to achieve. Earn 5.4% APY on a 7-month CD or 5.5% APY on a 7-month jumbo CD. You just sit back and watch your investment grow with online banking or our convenient mobile app. It's that simple, giving you rest-easy savings. That's the value of Veridian. Open a CD online or in person today.
Play of the Week, sponsored by Taco John's.
Well, we had some great nominees for Play of the Week, but there can only be one winner. And this week, it's going to go to Van Meter's Ben Gordon, taking the opening kickoff here and just taking it all the way, getting shifty down the sideline there, all the way for a touchdown. Anytime you see a kickoff return for a touchdown, it's always impressive, and it will likely land in our Play of the Week nominees.
It's weird, but Van Meter has flown under the radar this year, and they're the defending champs, but they're just doing what they always do, taking care of business, and big plays like this from Ben Gordon are a reason why Van Meter is the class of 1A.
Yeah, I mean, they're just so dominant in every game. I think Connor was telling us this game got pretty high scoring in just the first quarter, so as we saw. So definitely they're always a team to watch out for. But with that, let's go ahead and tell the people which teams will be featured in our next game of the week.
It's Gilbert and Carlisle. So last year, we did a game of the week for Gilbert. It was the last game of the season. 1-7 going into it, finished 1-8. And it was a unique game of the week because their coaching staff, their players were talking about just the lessons that they've learned in losses. And now I believe they're 5-0. They were 4-0 coming into tonight. I think they won tonight, and they're going to be at home against Carlisle, a team that was really good last year, lost a lot of starters. But I'm excited for this one to see just inside the turnaround at Gilbert.
Yeah, I mean, it's always impressive to see that how you respond from, a season that maybe didn't go as planned and to, go undefeated up until halfway through the season. I mean, some good things are happening there at Gilbert, so we'll be excited to chat with them. But we're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, we're going to give away our game ball for week 5.
At Taco John's, we never judge a book by its cover. But if the cover is a one-of-a-kind flatbread coated in aged cheddar, crispy shredded potatoes, and our signature potato Olay seasoning, we say, judge the shell out of it. New Cheddar Crunch Tacos, only at Taco John's.
Sure, there's a lot to say about what makes Ford Escape and Bronco Sport part of the SUV lineup that leads in brand loyalty. But in the Midwest, words don't hold much weight. What really matters is what your SUV can do. On the go, in the city, and off the beaten path. Get an SUV that lives up to the claims. Ford SUVs are made for the real world. This is Chiefs Kingdom. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months on a 2023 Ford Bronco Sport, official SUV of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Since 1938, they've been doing what they do, coming into communities to build lasting value. Green State, always here for you.
The king of country music, Código 1530 Tequila presents George Strait with Grammy winner Chris Stapleton. One night only, Saturday, May 25th at Jack Trice Stadium. George Strait with Chris Stapleton and special guest Little Big Town. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss George Strait live.
Do you have a cool photo or video you want to share with us? It's easy. Just use the We Are Iowa app, go to Near Me, and you can share with us. There, just upload your picture, tell us a little bit about it, hit submit, and you're done.
If money talked, it would tell you about the premium ingredients on Taco John's Valuest menu starting at $1, $2, or $3. Hand-cut sirloin steak, crispy fried chicken, and fresh pico. And if your appetite talked, it would say cha-ching. The Valuest menu, only at Taco John's.
Game Ball, sponsored by Fairway Meat and Grocery.
Well, it is time to give away our game ball for week 5, and this week it is going to 2 guys who made a game-winning play.
We'll cut it in half and hand it to you. It's Joaquin Johnston. Dragons up 10-7, 2 minutes to go, and Barrett Wilcoxon strips Will Nuss, and Cole Tedesco scoops it up and takes it all the way to the house to give Joaquin the lead and ultimately the win. And both defenses were so good in this game, almost to the point where it would take a defensive touchdown for the Warriors to win, and that's exactly what happened. So congrats on the win, Joaquin. They're 4-1.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a clutch play there, calling game. I mean, that's how you do it, never giving up. And so shout out to them. A great win there. But we are in the home stretch here on Friday Night Blitz. And when we come back, Jake and I will give our final thoughts on week 5.
Biking, boating, relaxation? What's your retirement vision? Learn how to take the money you've worked so hard to save and turn it into the retirement of your dreams during our Journey to Retirement workshop. Like getting ready for a trip, getting to and through retirement takes a roadmap. This workshop is the first step to planning your 20 or 30-year vacation. Go to retirewithmerkel.com to register for our Journey to Retirement workshop this week.
At Broadlawns, we fight for health equity every day, boldly redefining what it means to be a community hospital. Whether it's vouchers for fresh food, bus tokens for appointments, classes for new parents, a book for every child, or just speaking your language. That's what got us into medicine. That's what keeps us at Broadlawns.
In 1905, Boar's Head opened a family business based on a simple idea. Craft the finest delicatessen products possible, nothing less. 5 generations later, we've never wavered from that commitment. Meats trimmed the old-fashioned way, exceptional ingredients, time-honored recipes. If a product doesn't live up to our exacting standards, it doesn't carry the Boar's Head name. In a world where quality has come into question, know that you can put your trust in Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.
Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Check out our lighting showroom and update your home with a new look. Patriot Lighting is available in so many unique styles and finishes, you're sure to find a look that's right for you. With more than 300 stock lights priced under $100. Pick up this Sage indoor wall light for $19.97 after 11% rebate. Visit our lighting showroom or check out all our lighting options on Menards.com.
Save big money at Menards.
All right, well, before we get out of here, Jake, what stood out to you most in Week 5?
Let's go to that game of the week. Bondurant for our Newton. Big statement by the Blue Jays. Tough road test. Newton had a good year last year. They're off to a 2-2 start against 2 really good teams. So good to see Bondurant, Titus Cram, Reed Pfaltzgraff really put on a show. How about you?
Yeah, well, Reed Pfaltzgraff, 3 interceptions in that game?
In the first quarter, I think.
Insane. Well, yeah, I would say Javon Sanders breaking another school record tonight, unofficially at 1,100 yards through 5 games. That's insane.
So that's a school record for the whole season already?
Well, I think definitely most rushing yards in a game.
Oh, in a game, okay.
But most likely, if he keeps going at this rate, we're only halfway through and he's at 1,100 yards on the season, probably another school record in the works for him.
Those are NFL numbers. That's insane.
Yeah, and he was so humble when he was talking about it. And he said, hey, we're not satisfied. We want to keep stacking up wins and take this program to the next level. So they're doing some good things over there. They can get in the big win tonight.
Yeah, Coach Mathis is doing some good things.
Definitely. Well, that's going to do it for us here on Friday Night Blitz. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.